Rabbi, how are we to understand the Jewish perspective on all of the reporting of sexual assault that has happened? That is a question now I have gotten several times. And specifically also, what do we teach our Jewish teenagers? How do we teach them from a Jewish ethical point of view? So let me begin by saying that, of course, sexual assault is horrific in Jewish ethics. There are all kinds of commandments against any kind of assault or attack, especially of a sexual nature. And it also goes to domestic abuse. There's a very clear halacha. In fact, that in the Shulchan Aruch it says you are not allowed to beat your partner, or a man is not allowed to beat his wife. And in countries where there were greater women's rights in the surrounding community, such as historically in medieval Germany, a man who beat his wife, not only was it forbidden, but there was some very severe punishments of that man being beaten. So these things are, of course, forbidden in Jewish law. However, and there is a however, Judaism has to own its long history of patriarchy, of the man being the one who is most powerful and in charge, and women being dependent and on a lower and less powerful level throughout the large majority of Jewish history. And part of what Reform Judaism has become to be about is egalitarian Judaism and empowering women, that we are all made in the image of God, and the feminism being, as someone once told me, the radical notion that women are people too. So we have to own our history of patriarchy and those abusive voices that would diminish women's standing. Perhaps the quintessential story in the Torah that should make us cringe is the story of Dinah in the Torah. Dinah is taken by Shechem. She is clearly sexually assaulted, probably raped. It says that he forced her, and her brothers then come and do an honor revenge killing of Shechem and all of the men of Shechem. And Maimonides says that the men of Shechem knew about it and they did nothing, so they also deserved to die. And so we have this very difficult story in the Torah. Jacob comes and confronts his sons and said, "What have you done? What have you done here? And what have you done to our family and to me and to our name by killing all of these people?" And they answer with a question: should our sister be treated like a harlot? What is completely missing from this Torah study is Dinah's voice. Dinah says nothing throughout this entire Torah story. And that silence is deafening. And so while we are going through all of the ethics of the story and what these men are doing to each other, something that is left and as a gaping hole is, what does Dinah think? What would Dinah say if she could? Know that her name, Dinah, Din means judgment, and the the Hey, could indicate God. And so we can ask from her, the meaning of her name, what is God's judgment in this case? So when women are speaking up and saying "me too" and are finally finding their voice and are emboldened and brave enough to speak up, we know that Judaism has been part of that silence and that history of oppressive silence. And so we need, certainly as egalitarian Jews, but all human beings, to reach out and help empower our fellow human beings to speak up against sexual assault. At Temple Sinai, we try to make sure that everybody is known and loved and empowered for who they are, and that nobody should touch anybody in a way that they do not want to be touched, or use their power over anybody in a way that they shouldn't. Thank you.